Okay, for the second question, Jeremy, is from Liz, who says, you mentioned the importance of stakeholder management. Can you go into more detail about this?
Yes, absolutely. This is a critical part when it comes to your success in managing change. A stakeholder is anyone who has a vested interest in the outcome of the change. They're going to be impacted by it in some way. Therefore, they need to be brought on board, they need to be committed to it, they need to be sold on the benefit of the change, and then they will give you that willing followership. So the first step in stakeholder management is to identify who the key stakeholders are. Now that might be done on a functional basis, and you take out the organization chart and you give a red mark alongside function heads in a particular part of the organization, or you might put a yellow marker alongside team leaders in another part of the organization, or it might be that you use an orange marker to identify specialists that might be involved, but they're moving in and out of the organization, and so on. Or it might be that you sit down with a group of people who are going to work with you on that change and almost brainstorm who is it that is going to be our target population in terms of communicating to them, collaborating with them, consulting with them, so that they are totally involved in the process. And as a result of either using that organization chart process or more subjectively identifying these people, you can then divide them, broadly speaking, into 4 categories. So the first type of stakeholder is what we call the user stakeholder. This is the person who is going to be impacted by the change because it's going to change their day-to-day operation, what they do, how they do it, and what actually is going to be different for them when it comes to undertaking their job to deliver a result for the organization. So we call those the end user stakeholders. They may be managers, they may be team leaders, they may be people right at the sharp end of the business on the shop floor or wherever. That's one category. The next category is what we call the specialist. Now this is a person who might have a particular interest in health and safety, or a particular interest when it comes from an IT perspective, or a particular interest when it comes to a process improvement perspective, whatever. They're specialists. And they've been brought in by the organization to make sure that nothing changes that in any way is going to get in the way of the improvements that they're making in their specialist area. The third type of stakeholder is the financial stakeholder. They're the budget holder. They're the people whose money you will need to actually deliver the change. Critically important. Now, out of those 3 comes the other category of stakeholder, which is your champion. The champion is the person who wants you to succeed, who is on your side, who is definitely backing you. They've got credibility, they've got substance, they've got standing, they are a somebody within the eyes of the rest of the organization, and they are going to work closely with you to almost coach and mentor you and work alongside you to give you the information that you need to manage that wider stakeholder group. If you don't have a champion, you're really in trouble. So it's not just a question of identifying the stakeholder group. What are their hot buttons? What are they looking for? What do you have to sell them on? But you also need that champion stakeholder to help and guide you, deal with the personalities and the different types of people, so that you can reach them collectively and individually and sell the change to them.